Welcome back to Homeo Vision and a very good day to all of you watching this video. I'm Dr. Gauthami Deshmukh and let us continue today with our Organon of Medicine series. In this video, we will be learning about aphorism number 9 and aphorism number 10. These two aphorisms explain to us what vital force is and how vital force acts in health and in disease. So these two aphorisms are very important 10-mark questions for the undergraduate level. So what we will do in this video is that I will be explaining to you in a very concise manner the meaning of the lines or the meaning of the aphorism that has been given in the 6th edition of Organon. In order to learn how to elaborate the aphorism number 9 and 10 um, for the 10-mark questions, I would like to refer you all to the very popular guides, that is BK Sarkar and AK Das. So when you go through these books and when you read the explanations that are given for aphorism number 9 and 10, you will get a clearer idea on how to write and how to elaborate your answers for a 10-mark question. Aphorism 9, 10, and 11 can be asked as separate 10-mark questions or it can be clubbed into one 10-mark question. So in this video, I'm just going to explain what the lines in the aphorism tell us or what they mean. All right, now let us read aphorism number 9 first. So aphorism number 9 gives us the definition of vital force, and it is all about how vital force acts in health, that is the healthy condition of a man. As we can see, the aphorism itself is starting with the phrase healthy condition of a man. So in the healthy condition of a man, the spiritual vital force, that is autocratic, the dynamis, that animates the material body, that is nothing but the human organism, rules with unbounded sway and retains all the parts of the organism in an admirable, harmonious, vital operation as regards both sensations and functions, so that our indwelling, reason gifted mind can freely employ this living, healthy instrument for the higher purposes of our existence. So here he says, what is this vital force doing in a healthy man? Okay, so in a healthy man, the vital force has certain characteristics. So what are the characteristics? It is spiritual, it is autocratic, it is automatic, it is dynamic. Okay, so for now, let us just confine ourselves to the words that you can see in this aphorism or in this picture. So we can see spiritual. I will tell you the meaning of all of these words. So the vital force, which is autocratic, which is spiritual and dynamic, it animates the material body, as in it is giving life. It is making this organism breathe. It is making this organism move. It is making this particular organism talk and function. So the vital force animates the material body, rules with unbounded sway, meaning without any hindrance, without any trouble, or without any obstructions, the vital force is able to keep this material body, that is the human body, in function with unbounded sway, without any deviations, without any obstructions, or without any hindrances. And by doing so, it is maintaining a very nice harmonious operation, okay, and admirable. It keeps all the parts of the organism, so all the organ systems or all the organs or the entire man is kept in an admirable, harmonious, vital operation. And this, the harmonious nature or the harmonious operation is in regards both the sensations and functions. So all the sensations and functions are maintained in a very harmonious manner by our spiritual vital force. Now this equilibrium between the mind and the body, between the sensation and functions. So once the vital force helps us in keeping all of the sensations, functions, and all of the organ systems in our body in a harmonious way, what happens? Then we can use our mind, that is indwelling something that is there in the human organism, something that is there in us, reason gifted mind. So, see, what we will learn ahead is that the vital force is unintelligent. The vital force is void of the power of judgment. But us, that is human organisms, we are gifted with our indwelling, something that is present in us already. Okay, reason gifted mind can employ can freely employ this living healthy instrument for the higher purposes of our existence. So living healthy instrument is nothing but our body. okay, the material body that we have. So when the vital force is keeping the organism in a healthy condition. So the gist of this entire aphorism is that in the healthy condition of a man, the vital force, something that is spiritual, something that is autocratic, something that is dynamic, something that is self-ruling, and something that is self-functioning. So this vital force is balancing all the operations between the mind and the body, and it is maintaining an equilibrium between the bodily sensations and functions and the mind. So once this equilibrium is maintained, the mind is also very much free to employ our entire body for higher purposes of our life. So this is the gist of aphorism number 9. Now let us learn what these words mean. Like what are the adjectives which are used to describe vital force. So the first thing that we come across is something that is spiritual. So we know that vital force is spiritual. So here spiritual refers to something that is immaterial. What is the meaning of immaterial? Something that is not materialistic, correct? So the vital force, which is spiritual, the vital force is something that is not perceptible to our senses. We cannot touch vital force, we cannot see vital force, we cannot smell it, or we cannot hear the vital force, but we know it is there. Okay, how do we know? We know that vital force exists only through its functions, only through its functions or through its effects. Okay, so we know that vital force is there when there is a harmonious functioning of the body in case of a healthy state. We also know we will be able to recognize that vital force is there in a diseased man when it is putting out all sorts of disease signs and symptoms or diseased signs and symptoms. Correct? So this is how we can recognize vital force. It is something that is spiritual. I cannot take out vital force from the body and show it to you. Look, here we have vital force. That is not possible because this is something that is spiritual, that is immaterial, it is imperceptible to our senses. But we can only recognize the vital force through its effects or through its functional manifestations. For example, we can take gravity. I cannot show you gravity, but we know gravity is there because we're confined to the ground. We are walking to the ground. We are being pulled towards the ground. Similarly, electricity. Similarly, magnetic fields. I cannot show you where electricity is. I cannot show you how magnetic field looks. But we know all of its functional manifestations as we have learned in our physics. Okay, so therefore, the conclusion of this word is that we cannot see vital force, but we can feel its existence when it is acting through our organism. All right, that is, yeah. So as in health, we can see that the vital force is doing an harmonious operation. Okay, that is, we are all breathing well, we are all walking well, our cardiac activity is normal. So in health, these are the manifestations through which we can recognize vital force. Now in disease, what happens? All the disturbed functions we will find. Say, for example, the normal cardiac activity might get increased. There can be tachycardia, palpitations, or there can be bradycardia. So all the signs and symptoms will prove to us the existence of vital force in case of a diseased condition. So this is the meaning of spiritual. Now, what is autocratic? Okay, one more characteristic of vital force is that it is autocratic. Autocratic means it is self-powered. Okay, so the vital force is ruling our body. Okay, now this is the ruling power. The vital force is governing our body, but the vital force is not being again governed by something else. So this is the highest authority. All right, the highest authority that is controlling our body is the vital force. Okay, there is nothing else above vital force that is trying to control vital force. Therefore, this is it is autocratic, meaning it is self-powered and it is the supreme authority. So as we saw in the aphorism number 9, it says that it is the dynamis that animates the material body with unbounded sway. So this is something that is animating or keeping our body in a functional state with unbounded sway. So it is the highest ruling authority. All right. The next thing that we have to learn is that it is automatic. What is the meaning of automatic? Automatic means self-acting. So here autocratic means auto is a self, and again cratic means powered. So here also auto means a self, and then matic means it is something that we all know. That is something self-acting. Okay. So it is again self-acting. So this is very close to the word autocratic itself. All right. So the vital force is an automatic force that is animating our entire organism and giving life to it, imparting life to it. Okay, it is automatic. Now, this is not being controlled by something else, so therefore, it can spontaneously act to any stimuli that it faces. Therefore, it is automatic. Now, very important, homeopathy is all about dynamization, dynamic forces. So, therefore, what is this dynamic? So, whenever we use the word dynamic to describe something, we mean um we refer to something that is in action, correct? Something that is in action is called as dynamic. So, of course, vital force is something that is very happening in the body, as in a force that is always in action. So, vital force is dynamic, means that vital force is something which is a force that is in action. So, without this force that is in action. If the vital force is not in action, or if the vital force does not exist, what happens? The organism is considered to be dead. Okay. Therefore, vital force, something that is dynamic, is very much essential to keep the entire organism or to keep the entire material body in action, or in other words, the dynamic nature of the vital force that is there in action is something that is keeping our material body alive and functioning. Okay. So all the sensations and functions are operating or are happening only because of this dynamic in action vital force. Next, two other things that we have to know is that the vital force is unintelligent and instinctive. All right. If we go back to the introduction part of our sixth edition of Organon. Here we have around 5 to 6 pages where Hahnemann tells us how the vital force is unintelligent. So, vital force, it is automatic, it is autocratic, but it does not have the power of judgment. Okay, as in, it needs a physician like us to guide it in the right way, to act in the right way. Although it is acting all by its own, although we cannot directly control vital force, we need a physician to uh, guide guide the vital force in order to bring about a cure. So, if we ever touch the topic of introduction, there we will learn about minister naturae, deus naturae, and a lot of more other phrases wherein we will learn that vital force usually tries to imitate nature, but this is the wrong way of bringing about a cure. We will need somebody or something to guide vital force in order to act in the right way. So for now, let us learn that uh, the vital force is unintelligent, as in it does not have the power to judge. It does not know what is right and what is wrong. Okay, power to judge or comprehend. So this is not there. Okay, so this is true for all forces. For all forces. So gravity, electricity, magnetism, or any other force that you can name, all of these forces have to be guided in the right way in order to bring about a desired effect. Otherwise, when left by themselves, they will not know what is right and what is wrong. So they can bring about destruction, or they can bring about construction. So it is left to the person or to the thing that is guiding the force in order to bring about the desired effect. So they themselves cannot change their function according to the situation. Okay, so that is they will react to the situation, but they themselves cannot comprehend what is right and what is wrong, and without doing so, they will not be able to um, change themselves according to the situation. So instinctive again means it is very impulsive. Okay, it is very impulsive. So when you refer to a person saying that he's impulsive, what do we mean? We usually, when we say that a person is impulsive, we usually refer to somebody who does not think before acting. Correct? So that is the same thing. That is the same phrase that is being used to describe vital force here. So any energy by itself is always unintelligent. It cannot take a suitable situation by changing according to the situation. Okay. So so now it is in the hand of the physician, especially when it comes to vital force, homeopathy, disease, and cure. The the guide or the mentor for vital force is going to be the physician and the medicine that he's going to administer in order to guide the vital force in the right way to bring about a cure. Okay. Now, in conclusion, what we can tell about ninth aphorism is that the ninth aphorism is briefly telling us how vital force acts in health. Okay, so vital force in health, what is it doing? It is animating the organism, meaning it is bringing about all functions. The lungs are respiring, the heart is carrying out the cardiac activity, the gastrointestinal system is carrying out peristalsis and digestion. So the animation is being done by vital force, and also it is controlling all the functions of the body without any hindrance. That is with unbounded sway, correct? So without any hindrances or without any obstacles. And it is also maintaining harmony. Harmony of life is being maintained, due to which normal sensations and functions are being produced. Okay, so normal sensations and functions are being produced, and also it is also trying to maintain a equilibrium or yeah equilibrium between the mind and the body. So once this equilibrium and harmony is established, we know that the mind or the mind can employ itself to carry out to carry out activities or to engage itself in the higher purposes of existence or higher purposes of life. So the mind can carry out activities for the higher purposes of life or existence. And lastly, of course, it resists diseases. So vital force can also be correlated with our immunity, right? So it resists the disease and also preserves health, right? So I have taken most of this content from A.K. Das, and some here and there I've referred B.K. Sarkar. But as I told you earlier, in order to elaborate this aphorism for a 10-mark question, you will have to get ideas from these guidebooks, that is A.K. Das and B.K. Sarkar. So this is all about vital force in health and the characteristics of vital force. All right, now let us go ahead with the 10th aphorism. Now, the 10th aphorism tells us how an organism would be or how a human being would be affected if there is no vital force. Okay, so in the absence of vital force, what is the state of an organism? This is the question in front of us. So in the previous aphorism, we learned how the vital force gives life to the material body or to the material organism. Okay, how it keeps us alive, how in the healthy state it produces normal sensations, normal functions, the harmony, the equilibrium, the homeostasis, correct? So, but if there is no vital force, so what happens to the material organism without the vital force? So, here Hahnemann tells us that the material organism without the vital force is capable of no sensation, no function, no self-preservation. It derives all sensations and performs all the functions of life solely by means of the immaterial being. The immaterial being is nothing but the vital force, the spiritual, the dynamic, the autocratic, the automatic vital force, which animates the material organism in health and in disease. So, very simple. What happens if there is vital force? Vital force, we have health. Okay, and if the vital force is in harmony, correct? If the vital force is present and if the vital force is in harmony, we have the healthy condition of a man. Of a man. If the vital force is there, but if it is deranged, okay, morbidly deranged, then it is the material organism is said to be in a diseased state. But if there is no vital force, what happens? There is nothing to animate the organism, correct? No functions will take place, no sensations will be felt, correct? There is no self-preservation. The body cannot maintain itself, correct? So, what can this be called as? It is a state of death, correct? It is death. The organism does not exist anymore. There is only the material body, but it is not in animation. It is not in a dynamic state, correct? There is no functionality to the organism that is present. So, this is what the aphorism number 10 is telling us, that if there is no vital force in a material organism, then then that organism will have no sensations, okay, no functions, no self-preservation, okay. All that is essential for a material organism, or all that is essential for a corporeal organism or for a corporeal being to be alive, all of that is deprived, or all of that is not there when vital force is not there. So therefore, a very what can we say, a very inanimate material organism will be there, that we can refer to as a body, correct? Something that does not have life in it. Okay, so no vital force equals no life. Okay, so no dynamism. Therefore, it is equivalent to a dead organism or state of death. So that is what he is justifying in the second statement. He says that all the sensations, all the functions, all of this are derived. Okay, all of this are happening in a material organism only because of the vital force. But if this vital force itself is not there, then there is nothing to animate the material organism, as it happens in health and disease. So in health and disease, vital force is there. Okay. In both health and disease, vital force is there. In one case, the vital force is in a harmonious state, and in the other case, the vital force is in a deranged state. But the vital force is there, it is active and it is functioning. Correct? Okay, so therefore it is producing an animation in the body, right? But in case of absence of vital force, there is no life, there is no animation, no sensations, no functions, equals to death. All right. So this is vital force in death. That is aphorism number 10. So here we will know the exact importance of the presence of vital force in a material organism. So if there are any doubts regarding this video, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. We will address to them. So this is it. This is aphorism 9 and 10. Thank you. Please like, share, and support this video. Thank you.